Hi everyone, I'm Miss Hanley. I teach Intro to Healthcare at William Penn High School. I'm one of the teachers in the Allied Health program that teaches both the Intro to Healthcare and I also teach the EKG certification course for our seniors that make it all the way through the program. I've been working at William Penn since 2014 and was one of the original teachers that brought this program to the school and have been one of the innovators that have brought all the programs up to speed where it is, brought the certifications in, and super excited to keep continuing on what we're doing. So I wanted to show you a little bit about the class that your student has taken this year. Welcome to Intro to Healthcare. And this is a little bit about me. Again, I started working at William Penn in 2014. I have been teaching in allied health since 2010 with Delaware Tech, and I still do a few classes there now and then at Delaware Tech, and mostly in the exercise science field, where my first degree is from. That degree got me a job as a cardiovascular technologist with Christiana Care, and I still do that job as well. So I do that on nights and weekends, and whenever we're off from school, basically holidays throughout the summer. And I fill it in, and I get to be able to do both. So I get to bring what I do at the hospital into the classroom at school, and vice versa. So I'm a trainer for the hospital as well in EKG interpretation, and I get to bring some of that into the classroom as well. So I'm pretty excited how it all collaborates and all works together. And that's a little bit about me. So the next one here is basically how to contact me the best way. Clearly, in this virtual world, that email is our best friend right now. I check my emails daily. We sit on our computers most of the day, so I do get my emails quite readily. The best way, though, if you really want to reach me on the weekends, is through a Schoology message. I get those; they pop up right on my phone. Very easy to get, and I can typically answer back really quickly if it's a quick question. So those two ways work best. I do have a remind.com as well. I'm circling it here on the screen. How you join my remind.com, I send text messages out, reminders to students, and you can get them as well, like a test is coming up, or don't forget to bring this to class tomorrow. You would do this by texting to the phone number as if this was a phone number. I know it's only 5 digits, but as if this is a phone number, to 81010. And in the subject line, you would put at HC Hanley. HC stands for Healthcare Hanley. And then you can text me directly. I can text you back as long as it's not late at night or a weekend or something where I'm spending time with my family or asleep. I will get right back to you as soon as possible. All right, this is the weekly schedule. It's the same for everybody for the most part, but these are the classes, the periods at which I am teaching. So I'm with Intro to Healthcare Period 1, Period 2, and Period 4. Period 3 is my planning period. It's taken up a lot by a lot of other things, but that is the time where I can meet with parents, typically one-on-one on Zoom if needed. And then all this time in the afternoon, we have small group sessions in the afternoons. And then 1:30 to 2:30 are my office hours, and then an additional planning time in the afternoon as needed. Again, all times that I have planning or group sessions, I have availability to talk with you on Zoom if needed. And to help your students. I've met with students one-on-one several times already during those time frames to help them get them up to speed. Okay, this is just a quick overview. I'm not going to read through this. You can look through the syllabus if you'd like. It's attached as well. But I'm going to talk about a few of the units we've been doing. So far we started off with lab safety and medical ethics. The students watched the movie John Q. We discussed some of the things that happened in the movie that weren't quite ethically correct. And then the typical lab safety we do every year. Right now we've started delving into the musculoskeletal system, so muscles and bones, as well as any directions of the body, the planes and axis, and like how you would do surgical incisions. We did that with gummy bears, so maybe you guys are wondering what gummy bears were for, but that's what that was for. Our next unit involves cells, including some blood cells. We'll get into the hematology, infectious disease, and the immune system. And yes, that means we'll be talking about COVID. It is the biggest thing in the immunology field right now, in the healthcare field particularly. And I, fortunately and unfortunately, I work with several COVID patients on a daily basis, so I have lots of information to share with the students as exactly what's going on with the COVID in recent times. All right, we'll also do the urinary system and the cardiology system. Cardiology is my specialty. That's what I do. I'm a cardiovascular technologist. So I get to share, again, what I do at the hospital, including EKGs, the function of the heart, how the blood flows through the heart, all that works together. And we'll do a dissection of a heart as well. So these are some pretty cool things that are coming up. All right, this is the class supply list. We've already used the gummy bears and toothpicks. We did that in the last couple of days, but they definitely need a notebook that they should be keeping notes on specific to my class. A binder works great as well. I like binders just because I can organize them with the tabs and everything. Index cards we started using today as well. We make flashcards. I helped them to learn how to do flashcards. When I went through college, that was the best way for me to get through college was flashcards. So I'm teaching them young that flashcards are your best friend, and that's how you can memorize all the names of the bones and muscles and whatnot. Pens and pencils, highlighters, obviously. A small whiteboard, we've been using it a little bit in class. It's really just for their own use to be able to practice certain things, especially medical terminology. It's not required. They can use paper, but it does help to save on paper, to erase it and be able to try it over again and do other things. We would use these in class typically. Again, we use gummy bears and toothpicks already. I'm looking forward to using Play-Doh. We're going to use Play-Doh to sculpt out organs and the different structures within the organs, how the organs work. So if you can get a small pack of the 4-pack of four different colors of Play-Doh, that'd be super helpful when we start getting into actual organs and how they function. So I've seen them at the dollar store. I've seen them at Walmart for a couple dollars, whatever. Pretty simple to get, pretty easy to get, and will be great for doing our dissections and stuff moving forward. All right, so each week the students notice that I publish a weekly folder and I also put a daily folder. So each weekly folder has its daily folder. There's checkoff lists inside. As long as the students are following the checkoff list and coming to class every day, everything that we do is pretty straightforward, and I explain it out pretty in depth. I do have some kids obviously will miss on occasion. If they miss, they can always rewatch the video that I have for each day. I post the Zoom video as soon as it's done downloading, usually by lunch of the same day. It gets posted to Schoology. They can rewatch the whole lesson, take the notes, and understand the instructions for the assignments. That's the best way I would say to get your missed work. They are responsible for their missed work. That's the big thing that the students are having a hard time with sometimes is they go, but I wasn't there. But you're still responsible for that work. And that means you have to get it somehow. So the best way, again, is to go back and rewatch it, follow the checkoff list for that day, and take all the notes what you need for that day. You can always reach out to me if needed, if you have a question. All right, so attendance and policy. Obviously, students are expected to attend Zoom classes each day. They are virtually recorded. I do have students that are in driver's ed and have to go and do driving lessons and they miss my class. That's excused. We don't count that as an unexcused. But again, the best way, they just need to go back and rewatch it, take their notes, and understand if they have questions, reach out. So they're graded by 2 different ways. We have unit activities and assignments, and then we have assessments. So all the little assignments we have along the way are worth 40% of their grade, and the assessments, the quizzes and exams, are worth 60% of their grade. And so those combined make up that 100%. This is a semester course this year, as all of our courses in William Penn this year are semester courses. So I will only have your students marking period 1 and 2. And you'll combine those 2 grades together and average them out to get your final grade. If I put an I in the grade book, that is going to show up as a 0, that they didn't do it. That doesn't mean they can't still do it. I just means incomplete. They forgot, they missed class that day, for whatever reason, they haven't done it yet. Maybe they just didn't have time to finish it. They still have time. Once they complete it and I put the grade in, obviously that 0 goes away. It brings the grade back up to what it should be, and we have nothing to worry about. The kids panic when they see I's. X means that they're exempt, meaning it wasn't really anything or they had to be in class specifically to do that, or it's not going to count towards their grade. If it's blank in the grade book, I probably just haven't graded it yet, or they perhaps haven't completed it yet, and that's okay. And a 0 means they never turned it in. It's way too past the time, and they just never turned it in or forgot to hit submit for whatever reason. All right, so participation behavior. I would love to see more kids with their cameras on, and I understand that there's some, situations it's not the best situation to have a camera on. But when we did our gummy lab this week, I did have them turn their cameras on so I could see their work. They did a really good job with it, so I was really excited to see some of their pictures and their videos of their gummy bears. So that was exciting. But attending them is required. We do have small group sessions in the afternoon, are not required. It is for extra help for students that are having issues with some of their work, or just need someplace to be for that time frame so they'll focus. Okay, that's what I use the small group sessions for. All right, so meeting deadlines is super crucial. We're trying to teach them not only just to be able to do their schoolwork on time, but we're teaching them life skills and how to work in the medical field in a career. In the real world out there, they need to know how to turn stuff in on time. They need to show up to work on time, all that stuff. So we do require kids to, stay up on top of their assignments the best they can. Okay. So, again, we're just trying to teach them to be responsible adults and getting ready to work in a career. All right, these are just my Zoom etiquette expectations, and I've talked to the students about this. Turn on the video only when it's appropriate. Obviously, be on time. We're going to have, they've been on mute. And then the chat room is very popular. We use that for questions. It works sometimes best because sometimes students are working in the same room as siblings are, and it can get noisy. So the chat room works great, and the students are really good at using it. Finding a quiet space is kind of important and sometimes hard. So if you can find a place where you can sit down and they have a space where they can work and take notes and, be able to focus on what we're doing, that's the best place to do that. And then when they sign in, I wanted them to use their first and last name. I have lots of kids that are named Mackenzie and Nyla and lots of other names, all named the same name, and I don't necessarily know which one it is. Sometimes it's logging in, so I asked them to do that as well. All right, so as far as this goes, that's the end of my presentation for today. If you have any questions about what we're doing in Intro to Healthcare, don't hesitate to reach out. I love all your kids so far. I'm having a really good time. I'm really excited to bring the online version, virtual version of Intro to Healthcare to your kids. I basically have brought my whole classroom home. I have Mr. Bones hanging out behind me here. Actually, he's on this side. And I have all of my stuff here. I'm ready to go and excited to bring the kids all the information we have. So hope you enjoyed the video. Perhaps I'll see you or talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Have a great night.